Hey guys, first Regardsman here, and I'll be talking about a last Fusil build for the Sniper class in Space Marine 2 Patch 13. Now, the main idea behind this build is using our last Fusil for horde control and maximizing range damage with stuff like targeted shot, and for that reason, we will be using the rate of fire version because this one's overall DPS is just by far the highest. It also makes it very easy to just rapid fire into a Minotaur's horde and trigger perk effects like our Brutal Rampage or things up here like Instant Health. Now, for the perk tree here, we do go into the ammo capacity version first with this perk down here with increased capacity, mainly because if you take all of these perks down here, you will hit the breakpoint to get back 3 shots instead of 2 off of versatile precision, so pretty good option for that, which is why I go down that row. Now, the next perk here is adamant restoration, going here into the perk amplification. This will just give us a wider radius on our beam by 15%, and then move up here into the perk headhunter, and then we take a beam radius perk again, and then move through here into Great Might and Divine Might because this one gives us more damage in my testing than the perk up here, Headhunter, and the next perk here is Brutal Rampage. After killing 3 enemies or more with 1 shot, you will deal 25% more damage for 5 seconds. This is really good for clearing out Minotaur's hordes of Hormagaunts and stuff like that, because basically you'll trigger this perk at 5 seconds of bonus damage to shoot Majoris around them, so pretty strong for that. And the perk up here, Instant Health, is pretty good for recovering if you're low HP, but usually if you take the perk over here, Purification, doesn't really come up that much because this one kind of saves your life all on its own, so a little bit redundant to go up here into this tree. Next perk here is Increased Capacity and Increased Capacity again, and that's pretty much all there is for the last Fusil build. Now, for our secondary, I do take the Firepower Bolt Pistol, mainly because this one is pretty fast to fire, and that does help us out with things like Pattern of Excellence to actually trigger these 3 consecutive headshots, and even though you can do this on the last Fusil, it's just easier with a Bolt Pistol, so for that reason, we take the Firepower variant. This one also has the highest gun strike damage out of all these options, so it's good for that as well. Now, for the perk tree here, we do go down the top tree predominantly, starting off with the perk over here, Perpetual Precision. Maximum spread decreases by 10%, and moving here into the perk Headhunter for a 10% damage buff. And then we pick up the perk Gunstrike Reload, Increased Capacity, Headhunter again, and then the most important perk here, which is Elite Hunter. After killing a Majoris or higher enemy with a melee weapon, headshots will deal 50% more damage for 10 seconds. Now, this will trigger on a melee execute, not just a melee kill, just keep that in mind. Though to actually have this perk take effect, you do have to have your secondary equipped. If you swap off of it for any reason, you will lose the effect entirely, so just keep that in mind. Next perk here is Headhunter down here to the perk Extended Magazine, and the final perk here is Divine Might, and that's pretty much all there is for the Bolt Pistol. Now for the melee weapon, we do take the Argent Edge, and the Argent Edge is very strong on this build in particular because number 1, this has the perk effect Scathing Retort, where the post window is shorter, but each perfect parry damages and staggers the enemy. This will give you a gun strike opportunity on every single enemy you parry on the first parry no matter what because of this effect, and that really helps us out with things like Exacting Focus down here for a 20% range damage buff for 10 seconds after a gun strike. And usually on the sniper class, you will get a parry, you will gun strike the enemy, and you'll immediately fire off your last Fusil or go cloak and fire off your last Fusil, and because of that, you're getting a tremendous damage increase unlike targeted shot and Exacting Focus being up from that gun strike, so a really powerful option. Now, for the perk tree here, we do start off with the perk Armored Strength first, or excuse me, Perpetual Strength first. Moving here to the perk Kinetic Energy, each consecutive heavy attack increases heavy attack melee damage by 3% up to 30% for 3 seconds. Now, this perk is okay on the Argent Edge. Your speed here is not that fast, so Power Gladius can be better for horde control, but this one's still quite strong. Next perk here is Perpetual Strength over here into the perk Heavy Onslaught. Heavy attacks with this weapon deal 15% more melee damage. And then we grab the perk here, Reeling Blow, down to Shadow Stab for single target damage. Then I go up here into Tide of Battle and Shoulder Bash because replacing Distance Stab with Shoulder Bash, this lunging attack just feels way better to me, so I do prefer it. And the final perk is Terminus Slayer for more boss damage. That's pretty much all there is for our melee weapon. Now for the Sniper's perk tree, I do take the perk here, Melee Mastery first. Melee damage increases by 20% against Majoris and higher enemies. This is pretty nice with the Argent Edge. The base damage of the Argent Edge is actually pretty high in this game, so he does really benefit from a multiplicative melee damage buff here. Though I will say, if you want to take Block Break for an easier time with Horde Clear against Shielded Zangors or like Biovores and Sword Warriors, you could do that. I just prioritize this one. Next perk here is Vantage Point. Remaining stationary for 2 seconds increases your ranged weapons damage by 20%. This is a very substantial buff to your range damage here, and the last Fusil especially can take advantage of this with the rate of fire version, so pretty strong perk option. And also the perk up here, High Capacity, does very little for you on the last Fusil here because we already hit the breakpoint. just by taking all these perks down here to actually get the 3 shots back on a single versatile precision trigger. This one doesn't take us up to 4 at all, so really not worth taking. Next perk here is Lethal Efficiency, because it's the only one that works with the last Fusil. It just makes you have infinite ammo and like Hormigaunt hordes. And the next perk for your team perk selection is Squad Renewal. A headshot kill restores ability charge by 10% for any squad member. Now, if you're taking like a bolt sniper or things like that, these days you can actually take things like precision targeting or the perk up here marksmanship, but Squad Renewal is much better for the last Fusil because unfortunately you will not trigger lingering concealment immediately after you start charging your weapon. You actually have to fire off last Fusil, and unlike a bolter, you get like the break immediately. Last Fusil will not do that because the charge does not actually count as an attack until you actually fire off the laser beam. So that is kind of like an unfortunate perk combo there, so you don't really get the full benefit from these perks. Next perk here is Purification, mainly activating Camo Cloak removes negative status effects and restores all contested health. And now the next perk here is Targeted Shot. The first range attack that breaks Camo Cloak deals 75% more damage. This helps out the last Fusil with breakpoints and killing things like Neurothropes pretty well. And also Tactical Ambush down here, we don't really get a ton of benefit from this on Argent Edge compared to a Power Gladius, so this is kind of the no-brainer option. The next perk here is Lingering Concealment, going down here into the perk Power of Excellence. Performing 3 consecutive headshots for equipment charged by 1, the cooldown is 30 seconds. This just gives you back 30-second melt-the-bombs, shock nades, cracks, and stuff like that. And equipment is the #1 way you actually get back like Majora's Horde clear and stuff like that in this class, so for that reason we pretty much always pick it up. Now for the Prestige perk tree, I do take the perk here Empress Grace first. When Camo Cloak activates, you become invulnerable to damage for 2 seconds. This invulnerability is super useful on this class. You can do a ton with this perk. You can dodge out of like Hellbrute beams, you can dodge out of their Hellbrute AoE. You can also do things like just slipping through the Neurothrope waves and stuff like that. Super useful perk. Next perk here is Versatile Precision to give us back like 15% of our primary weapons ammo on a secondary kill with a 15-second cooldown. Super strong option, especially on this class, and like this is really how you solve your ammo economy on this gun. Final perks here are Conviction for a 25% health damage reduction, into the perk here Exacting Focus for dealing 20% more range damage for 10 seconds after a gun strike. And that is pretty much all there is for this build, guys. You know, I will say this build will perform very well against both Chaos and Tyranids. The last Fusil is a very powerful gun, and hopefully this build guide helped you. And if you like content like this, subscribe for more. If you want to catch me live to ask me questions about the game or just come hang out, you can find me here on YouTube or on Twitch with a link in the video description, alongside a link to my community Discord. And as always, thank you for watching. Take it easy. Bye.
Specialized warfare in action. Engage the witch.
So you can throw a grenade underneath these guys and blow up their shields like that. You do this. I learned that one from Star Wars: The Clone Wars, when they're teaching all like the people on the local planet how to fight Droideka. They're like, you gotta roll the grenade under the shield. True story. You know, you know.
Solid ground will serve us better than this blight. Utilizing materia. Evade the attack. That fate was weak. Rearming war gear.
Is the balanced power axe better than heroic or just a niche? I mean, the balanced one, I mean, they're completely different weapons. Very different things.
Minion of the wall. Solid ground will serve us better than this blight. Applying overwhelming force. Heretic combatants sighted. At last. The tainted water was growing tiresome. Escalated counteraction. Rendered unseen. Most efficient. Specialized war gear in action.
That purification's so good.
Terminated.
That's the awkward thing. That's why melee Terminators are worse than the missile ones, because melee Terminators actually frame trap you into like getting shot. You see, I see this all the time. If we're talking like which enemy is more dangerous, the melee Terminator is more dangerous every time. It's just that this enemy right here, it kills more scrubs. So, I hear a lot more about it.
Utilizing material.
The only time the missile one is really bad is if he's got an angle on you and you have no ability to stun him.
Heretic specialist. Engaged.
A fair amount of damage.
Pre-eminence. Shall not see. An heretic activity quelled. Inspect weapon for functionality. Reloading.
When do the weeklies restart? I don't know. Have you checked the literal countdown on the weeklies? If only there was a literal countdown that gave you an exact time and date.
It can weave no spells when it is dead.
10 hours, yeah.
Cycling cartridges.
I don't mind answering questions. That's a fucking stupid question.
Escalated counteraction. Rendered unseen. Most efficient.
Heavy bolt pistol, plasma pistol, or Argent / new chain sword for my first choice as tactical player. Depends what you like. Argent Edge are definitely the best, actually. I would say, if you want to play attack, FTG, what is hip firing? Yeah, Miwa didn't know what the fuck hip firing was. That's like diabolical. She plays Elden Ring. She should know. She should know on some level what the fuck hip firing is, but no. Because like Elden Ring is a gamer's game, okay? It's not just like, you know, you just sit around. Maybe she sucks ass in that game too. I have no idea, but. Not knowing what hip firing is pretty diabolical.
Munitions replenished.
Shoot without aiming, yeah.
Waiting on you.
Elden Ring ain't got no hip firing. I mean, that's true, but like Elden Ring's a game. Like, I would feel like if you've played Elden Ring, you've probably heard of the term hip firing in a video game at some point in time.
Fresh magazines.
Right? Because like Elden Ring is not a game. Like Elden Ring Night Rain is not a game that I would like expect somebody who doesn't know what hip firing to play. You know what I'm saying? Like my dad might not know what hip firing is, but he just doesn't play any video games ever. Not knowing what hip firing is, it's like not knowing. I don't know. I don't think I've ever met anybody that plays a game up until that moment that didn't know what hip firing was.
The swarm arrives as predicted. Pick your targets.
Maybe they just like Elden Ring.
Specialized war gear in action. Rearming war gear.
Not that it really matters, but it's kind of funny.
Fragmentation grenade deployed.
Look at our board clear.
Tyranids amassing on our perimeter. Take defensive positions. Waste are so improved. Monstrous Xenos eradicated.
Facility entrance
The way is open. Let us find what the heretics came for and make them regret the journey. False. Defensive tactics successful. Our foes lie broken.
You can't do this shit with a full sniper rifle, can you? No, you cannot.
Specialized war gear in
That's what I
action.
think it's struggles with this horde clear.
The heretics announced that
Afternoon gang, what's up, Osborne?
restraint.
We were just hip firing our last Fusil.
No defenders remain. What fate befell them?
I had to choose a 40k faction, loyalist, or heretic. Which one's your favorite? Let me think about that. Well, my name is first to Regardsman, so obviously Aldari.
The traitors cannot recover even a fragment. Deny the Thousand Sons everything. Understood, Captain. Applying overwhelming force. Thousand Sons unleashed a hell brute upon us. We have demolished the fear of this automaton. Rearming war gear.
Have I not missed any Jake Sully rants on the new map? It's been a while since our last Jake Sully rant. Mainly because we haven't like a new Xenos map yet. I'm sure we'll get there.
Traitor assault repelled. Report ammunition status.
Go Balta Bomb. I kind of want that.
War gear in hand.
Do you like Tyranids or Chaos FCG? I actually like Chaos a lot these days. It's just that I hated all the maps up until now, but like this map doesn't have any annoying, like obnoxious objectives on it, so I don't mind spamming it for Chaos. This one's actually really fun against Chaos. Every other one has like 15 stupid eyeball portions, or like some sit there and wait moment. This one's actually fun.
We leave them nothing to salvage.
Like I really do think that's the only awful part of Chaos maps in this game, is that their objectives suck.
Specialized war gear in action.
Not very ammo efficient there, but
The enemy of summoning real enemy reinforced muster there. Utilizing material. Not even its weakness optimism can be held now. We interrupted the Hellspawn's critical functions. Recycling cartridges. Chameleon line cloak activated. Terminator. Disgraceful using tactical threat. Placing melter charge.
shit. Just kidding.
The walking power armor is exanimated. Tactical preeminence.
That's true, this one has no terrible objectives, exactly. This is the best Chaos map. Vortex is really close to being there too, but it does have a generator portion. And the generator portion makes me want to buy rope every time I play it, so
Let us see to this simple task and complete
I can make a swing in Minecraft. I'll play a different game after, you know.
Inserting fresh magazines. Specialized war gear in action. Functioning normally. They shall not see me. Utilizing materiel. Functioning normally. Functioning normally.
Reclamation's your overall favorite op? That one's pretty good.
That should resolve the fault.
Now, Disruption's not bad. I just think Disruption has, like, nothing particularly interesting in it.
Reloading. Zangor destroyer detected. Zangor specimen rendered inert. Light refraction engaged. Replenishing ordnance. Applying overwhelming force. Chameleon line engaged. Tactical preeminence. Acting Terminator exercised of animals. Escalated counteraction. Specialized warfare in Meridian. We are registering a significant warp energy spike inside Nosing's laboratory. Reach the lab and eliminate the heretics. Do not allow their ritual to reach completion. Acknowledged. Meridian moving to engage.
Sound gone for everyone? Anyone? It shouldn't be. Termination is your number one. That was close to being the best, in my opinion. Had they not had that awful objective at the end.
Lies from the archenemy. Predictable. Your deceptions are futile, heretic. Tactical preeminence. Minion of the wall. Purified. Vile monstrosity reduced to base components. Traversal may proceed. The corruption thickens. Hearing the source. Rearming war gear. We cross-fire the drifting islands. Applying overwhelming force. Heretic specialist suppressed. Ravener inbound. It is a burrowing horror. counteraction. Xenos Alpha Beast eradicated. Biovore detected. Cycling cartridges. Specialized wargear in action.
Oh, of course he goes up there. You fucking guy.
For backup. Corrupted presence detected. Escalated counteraction. Chameleon line engaged. Large Tyranid organism destroyed. Not expedient, but an effective method. I see the lab. The swamp has not swallowed it yet. Rearming wargear. They shall not see me. Tactical preeminence. Corruption detected. Rendered unsealed. Most
The
efficient.
purification's nice, so you can just use that button, click one time, and get rid of your stat spec. Which op's the easiest to play FCG? Decapitation.
The promised end to this sudden trudging. Applying overwhelming force. Light refraction. Running with your servants. Ever dutiful. Ever faithful. Precious God. Shrinking is their souls rent for killing. With understanding. Specialized wargear in action. Thousand suns terminated unit identified. Servants of the Dark Gods sighted. Our efforts stalled the Thousand Suns advance. Tactical preeminence.
It's over, he has the high ground.
No turning back.
We did have the high ground, we dropped the bomb on him. Hive Tyrant 1, yes. That is the easiest one.
It appears we have located the missing defenders. We shall tear this profanity from existence. The eyes power the wards, obvious targets. What is the fate of all foes? To perish in the fire of battle and be cleansed from the galaxy. What is our task? To bring death to our enemies, for the Emperor and the Primarch. Chameleon line cloak activated. Escalating counteraction. Our foes attempt to call up fresh forces. While our foes call upon their reserve forces. Tactical preeminence. Clearly aligned engaged. Cycling cartridges. Fresh ammunition acquired. Specialized war gear in action.
Yeah, I was not expecting last Fusil to be this easy, but I guess it is. I guess Purification do just be like that.
Sorcerer, counter its foul arcana. Zangle successfully terminated. Rearming war gear. Utilizing material. Another ward falls. That was the last of them. There, the altar. That is what sustains the rift. Specialized war gear in action. We must seize the altar. We must seize the altar. Must eradicate that hellspawn. Those who are rotting empire, come to Perk at inevitability. Let us see which fails first. Your ammunition for your brittle minds. Behold the burst of the changeable ways. We do not tire. Their sorcery falters. Calculated counteraction. Hellspawn vivisection complete. Almost there. Hold them back. We shall meet them with precision and wrath. We fight until the last blade is broken and the last bolt around spent. The eye is vulnerable. Do not waste the opportunity.
God, that was actually easy as fuck. Holy shit. That was so easy. Wow. Last Fusil's just that good on Purification.
Viridian, Auspex confirms the rift is collapsing. Heretic warp signatures are dissipating across the battlefield. Exemplary work. Return to the Resilient. Have the Cadians follow. Their exposure to the warp was...
That was pretty fucking easy, guys. Cannot lie.